All right, team, we're going to get started with a little deep core and pelvic floor action. So go ahead, come onto your mat. You don't need any props for this, just a little 10-minute full body action. Start by coming into a tabletop position, shoulders stacked over your wrists, hips over your knees, and begin to practice that big, deep diaphragmatic breath, filling your belly, pressing against the rib cage, pressing down against your pelvic floor. Big inhale through the nose and exhale out your mouth. Exhale, push all the air out. Feel your navel drawing towards your spine as if you're tightening up that corset. Your back stays nice and flat. Let's do a few more of these. Big inhale. Feel your ribs expand to either side, all the way to the back as well. And exhale, let that air out your mouth. One more in the nose. Let that tension melt away from your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Find that connection into your breath, filling your lungs, and exhale. Let all that air out. Feel your navel draw up and in. Good. Let's move into a few cat-cows. Just looking for a little nice spinal mobility here. Moving things all over. Find that opening into the shoulders. And we are going to stay in this tabletop right here. Think about pressing the floor away. Flex those toes. We're going to lift up for our first bear hover here. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale. Lift your knees just 1 inch up off the floor. Don't let your hips come up too high. And you're just going to go for 4 taps. Tap down, never holding your breath. Last one, press it all the way up into a down dog. Heels down, hips high. Lower back down, 4 taps. Tap, tap. Tap. Keep the navel drawing up and in. Strong through that upper body as well. Back down. 4 taps. 2 more. Press all the way up. Heels press down. Hips up. Last one. 4 pumps. 3, 2. Lift those hips all the way up. Pedal out your feet. Drop one heel and then the other. And come back down into that tabletop position. Moving into our next bird dog set here. Go ahead, draw those shoulders away from your ears. So I don't want you to sink down through the mid-back. Think about pressing those shoulder blades away from each other. And then stick your left leg long behind you. Just tap it down and lift it up. Make sure those hips stay nice and square. Navel drawing in towards your spine, shoulders down and away from your ears. Let's add the opposing arm here. You're just lifting up, tapping down. Finding that connection all the way through that diagonal, all the way along your spine. Exhale, lift. Never holding your breath through any of these exercises here. Tap down, lift. Squeeze into that seat, square off the hips. 2 more, down and up. Last one, down. Hold it right here, breathe into it. Press away from the floor. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Chin is off your chest. Imagine I'm pulling your hand long and pulling your leg back behind you for 4, for 3, for 2, and lower down. Sit back in that child's pose stretch. All right. We just had that left leg long behind us. We're going to keep the left leg on top as we roll onto our side. First side plank here. So left leg stays on top. I'll be mirroring you. Turn onto your side because we got a side plank next. So drop down, pull that bottom knee down and in. Top leg can stay long. Think about scooping up out of that bottom oblique. 30 seconds of pulses right here. Scoop it all the way up. Top arm long. Pulses here for 30 seconds. Pull that navel up and in. Pressing up and out of that bottom oblique. Press it up. Press it up. Ooh. Don't just lift through those hips. Think about pressing your quads to the front as well to get the most out of this side plank. Make sure that bottom elbow is stacked right beneath your shoulders. Top arm is reaching up long. And if you want that little somatic release, think about bring that hand onto that bottom oblique to really feel where that energy is building. Exhale, lift. Ooh. 3, 2, and 1. Challenge yourself. Hold the hips high. Float the top arm up. And if you want to add a little spice, float that top leg up for a star side plank. You're here for 8. Keep breathing. In the nose, out the mouth. Good. 4, 3, 2, and lower it all the way down. Oh, who does not love a side plank? You're like, me. Okay, lower it all the way down. Let your head rest in your hand here. I promise a little core and pelvic floor. So we're going to start with an internal rotation. Top leg is finding that internal rotation. So your knees are bent, your heels are pulled in towards your seat. Hips stay nice and stacked to the floor. So I like to have you press into that front hand. Just keep those knees glued together like you have got $100 bill right between the knees. And you should feel this internal rotation. Team, we do so much work into the hips, glutes, especially looking to stabilize this area with pre and postnatal. One of the moves that tends to get overlooked is that internal rotation. And you guys, our pelvic floor loves the internal rotation. And you may notice one side gets a little more mobility than the other. We're going to add on, hold the leg lifted. And from here, you're going to draw a rainbow all the way up and over with your top leg. Tap your toes. Pull that leg all the way up and over, drive the knee down. And just imagine you're drawing a rainbow with that top leg. You're going to start to feel this in your inner and outer thighs, into your glutes. And your core is definitely working to keep your body nice and stable. Make sure we keep breathing here. And if your head or resting in your hand does not feel right, you can always just let that arm come long and let your head just hang out in your bicep here. All the way up and over. Feel the navel drawn towards your spine. Try not to let those hips tip forward. 2 more. Ooh. They kick in quick. Last one. Hold it all the way here. Knees together, knees together, knees together, and lower that leg all the way down. I don't know why it's like obligatory to just give some love onto that side seat. All right, roll all the way onto your backs now. Come onto your back, hug your heels in towards your seat. This is always where the ponytail can never decide. Does it go over or under? We never know. Okay, plant your arms down by your side. Think about drawing your navel down and in, anchoring the back of your pelvis flat on the mat. Lift your right leg up for a march and lower it down. Other side. In and lower. Add an exhale as you march. Team, these are some core foundations. If you are struggling to connect into your lower abdominal area, go ahead, bring your hands into that diamond shape. Your fingertips just on the tip of that pelvis bone. And then thumbs right around an inch south of your belly button. Making that diamond here, really connecting into your low abs. Exhale as you lift, keeping your hips and pelvis nice and still. I don't care how far along you are postpartum journey. This is still a foundational exercise to help connect mind and body. I always recommend this before any workout, almost like a warm-up, if you will, to just really connect. And once you find it, we're going to add on here. So hold your leg up in a tabletop, draw the other leg up to meet it. Ooh, we found it. If you're noticing that doming or that coning happening into your midsection, that's just about pressure management. You want to make sure you're using your breath to draw the navel down and in. It's super important. So imagine I'm eating like a dinner plate off of your shins. They should be parallel with the floor. So don't let your ankles come up. Don't let them sink down into your seat. And from here, you're just going to find those toe taps. So it's like an inverse march. Just tap down. Again, take the tension out of your neck and jaw. It likes to creep up in that general area. Let your shoulders flow down and away from your ears. Feel your ribs cinching in together as if you're tightening that corset here. Feel the navel pulled down and in. Really great for just counteracting a lot of that postural change that happens during pregnancy as well. Spine stays nice and long. You're just breathing into these toe taps. Toes are pointed, calves are activated. Ooh, here we go. 4, lift. 3, lift. 2, last one, and draw your knees all the way in towards your chest for a little rock and roll from side to side. Now, if you felt your hip flexors turning on with that one, good news. We're going to do some counterbalance action here. Plant those feet, hug your heels in towards your seat. Arms come down by your side. I want you to pinch a $100 bill. You remember the one that was between your knees? Now place it right between your seat. Squeeze that seat. Lift all the way up into a glute bridge. You're just lifting to about halfway, to the point that you really start to fire up your seat. And lower down. Exhale, lift, squeeze. Lower to a hover. Exhale, lift, squeeze. You're like, yeah, we know a glute bridge. Try to connect into those glutes. Feel your navel sink down and in as you find the energy initiating into that core and pelvic floor as well. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. You're going to hold those hips up nice and high. Imagine you are balancing 2 bottles of milk, which feels appropriate right now, right here on either hip, and hold those hips up high. Hold them, hold them, hold them, hold them. And you're going to find that march. Remember that march we just did? Hips stay nice and balanced. And you're just going to march with this glute bridge hold. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. Try not to lower down into that opposite seat. Try not to sink into one hip or the other. All right, team, we're going to hit that other side, starting with a bird dog, then a side plank, then those beloved Sam shells, and then you get to be on your way. Let's hit it in 4, in 3, in 2, last one right here. Lower the feet, lower the hips, hug your knees in towards your chest. The one rule of thumb I have that I always ask is please never rock and roll yourselves up to seated, especially from our early postpartum mamas. That creates too much abdominal pressure that we're still building the strength there. So always roll onto your side, and press yourself up. All right, come into that tabletop position. Last time we started with the left leg back. Now we're going to start with that right leg straight back behind you. Left arm long, big inhale. Exhale, lift and lower. Squeeze, lift and lower. Square off those shoulders. Square off the hips to the floor. Pointing the toes, arm and leg are reaching long away from your body. Lower. We're starting to find that fire in our midsection. Feel the navel draw up and in. Try to avoid looking down at your thighs. I promise they're not going anywhere. Not yet, at least. Whew. Keep going here. And down. 2 more. Up and lower. Last one. Hold it high. Just breathe into this nice long reach. Reach, 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 reach. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Draw the navel up and in. Press away from the floor. 4, 3, 2, and lower it all the way down. Ooh! Sit back into that child's pose stretch. Big inhale. And exhale, lift back up. Let's find that side plank. So come on to that bottom forearm. Make sure you're doing the opposite side this time. You should be on your left forearm. Bottom knee is bent. Top leg is long. And think about scooping up out of your bottom oblique. Top arm up. Little pulses for 30 seconds right here. Navel draws up and in. Hips lift up and forward. So don't let your seat sink down back behind you. It wants to, I know. Don't let it. Keep pressing it forward. Keep the navel drawing in. Keep breathing through this. You are over halfway through these. Isn't that fun? You know we're going to finish with that side plank star hold. Just 3. Just 2. Last one. Hold it high right here. Float the top leg up. Float it. Hold it. Breathe into this. Strength and mobility through those hips. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and bring it all the way down. Ooh, yes. All right, slide it down. Let your head rest in that hand. Brace yourself with the front hand. Hug the navel in. Just find that internal rotation. Internal rotation here. Finding that nice opening through your glutes, connecting into your inner thighs with this one. This one should feel like a nice mobility flow here. Opening things up. Hips stay nice and stacked though. They're not rocking in or tilting forward. That's why we brace ourselves with our hands. Keep the navel pulling in. We've got those beloved rainbows on deck. I know you're so excited. You're going to hold your knees together in 2 and 1. Hold the knees together, feet are apart. Draw a rainbow with this top leg. Really press into that front hand all the way up and over. Tap your toes. Pull that leg all the way up and over. Tap your knees. Draw the navel up and in. Keep those hips nice and stable. The slower you take this, the more effective the moves are. Mamas, the biggest reason we are missing out on the benefits of so many of these exercises is because we speed through them. The slower you take this, the more focused, the more intentional you make it. Finding this internal rotation as you just imagine that hip socket, making room for the head of your femur. Moving all the way around here, a little internal, external rotation. Woo. Slowing it down. Get those toes pointed up towards the sky. And you're like, man, that other leg could go so much farther. You might notice that. Or maybe this side can go farther. You decide. Well, your body will tell you. All right, I felt my core start to release a little bit here. If you felt that happen, draw the navel in. Keep the core nice and braced. Breathe through this brace. Ooh, last one. And then you're going to hold your knees together and lower it all the way down. Last one, last one, last one, last one. Draw the knees together and lower that top leg down. Oh my goodness, you guys. The rainbows. You know what's always at the end of a rainbow though? A pot of gold. Our pot of gold today is just that nice, perky, lifted tuck. Okay, roll onto your back. Let's finish on our backs right here. Moving into some dead bug action. Let's add the arms. Bring your fingertips straight up towards the sky, shoulders down and away from your ears. Brace your core as you hug your navel down and in, pressing the back of your pelvis flat on the floor. Lift your right leg up to a tabletop, left leg up into a tabletop, and let's go into this dying bug. Extend opposing arm and leg long. Exhale, draw it back in. Other side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull it back in. Feeling that lengthening through your rib cage. Feel your shoulder blade move up and down along your upper back. Feel the ribs knit in together. Feel your navel sink down and in. Feel that space in your low abs really connect. Inhale, lengthen. Knees stay nice and bent. Again, take this nice and slow. Spread those fingers nice and wide, firing up every muscle in those arms. Every body part that's moving should be moving with that intention. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back in. Last one. And hold it right here. Flow your arms down by the floor. And from here, you're going to slide your calves out 1 inch and pull them back in. Extend out 1 inch and pull them back in. Make sure those knees and ankles are in one line. They're just sliding out as if they're sliding across a nice low coffee table. These turn on real quick. So slide it out and in. Bring your hands just south of your navel. Find that diamond. 2 more. Last one. And draw your knees all the way in. Ooh, okay, roll onto your sides. Let's finish with just a quick mermaid sit here. All right, find that 90-90 action. Sit up nice and tall. Big inhale, reach up and over. And release, sinking deeper into this stretch. And switch those arms, other side. Sit up nice and tall, switch the legs. Sit it all the way up. Try to anchor both sits bones into the floor. Big reach up and over. And release, sinking deeper into the stretch, finding that space between the bottom of your ribs and the tops of your hip. And then up and over, other side. And come back up. Spin into that tabletop for just a few final cat-cows here. Soft arch through the chest and the spine, and then exhale, round it out. Taking these at your own pace. And round it out. And we did it, team. All right, nice work, mamas. I hope to see you again next time.